Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Coming live from Fire to Heart, children of God. Fire up your heart, children of God. That's you, and that's you, and that's me, and that's me. I'm going to try to ignore the camera. Periodically, about once, twice a year, I like to go over some of the work I've done through the years that is actually positive and light-hearted, or even if there's some depth to it. The first book I published was Wispy Princess and the Rainbow Mist. This was supposed to be the first book I published, The Journals of Isla Moon, but it brought out some people in the woodwork, and my computer got real fried. I lost most of the manuscript, and then when I knew my editor before he became a publisher, editor, and he believed my story, he believed it wholeheartedly, or he wasn't going to publish it, and then shortly before he was going to publish it, the first time, he goes something about, is that really based on a true story? Like he didn't want to believe it, or was there real names in it? The other thing that was upsetting for me with my first publishing experience with a person is really the covers weren't really anything that I wanted. This was pretty close. For the most part. This not so much, because I wanted the focus, even though it's a sad story, I wanted it to still be of hope, not of like a horror movie. But it is so scary that so it's more or less like a very brief look into what happened when I left my first husband and how scary it got. And prior, how scary he was prior, and then my family involvement and the ignoring, and then other things came up. And then this one here is about a serious situation if technology were to go out and people are having to remember how to live a different way. And since that seems to be something in people's minds, I have 3 other publishers that are more than happy to publish all my books. This one I would focus on, but I have enough reservation about it that I don't want to, this just doesn't seem to be my focus right now. He shadow banned my books. He wasn't really helping me get them promoted because I think he was threatened by the police, someone in the county. And little did I know that the publisher and some other businesses downtown are kind of bought off by the police. And it's like kind of a take, or you do what we say and we'll let you have this business. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. So Cheese Muffin Puppets, I did it as history lesson number 1. I will do the best I can to just read it. And then very quickly I'll show you this one vase I did. I did 2 on this order. This one's much more detailed. There's a flower on each side. Much more intricate work going on than the one I shared last night. Okay. So I showed all 3 books. Wispy Princess and the Rainbow Mist is about children and, well, no, just about decision making. We'll just say it that way, because I wanted it all age friendly. This was a art I did, but it never really turned out well as a black and white copy. But when we were doing music at cafes, and we settled with Gypsy Scorpion. This is kind of the idea of a woman riding a scorpion, which I guess would seem very dark, so I'm really going to scare the Christians out there. But we couldn't come up with a name. This was part of my email. This was part of John's. We met through a friend. We met through a friend of his he played guitar with. I was back in school to update computer class and loose ends. I don't know if I completed another course that year I needed to redo, but it's more or less what it was. And then I was going to jump online to an online university. So we started a band. Initially it was just, hey, let's, hang out, because I was back with family again. They like to isolate me heavily. So, and I always had enough sense to know I got to meet people somehow. As long as everyone's an adult, either it's political involvement, meetups, or music, something like that, to keep some sort of social activity going. Because Tom was closing things down very, very fast by the time I was 30. So I did this, and this is a bigger painting, and maybe one day I find it and I can show it to you. It's really pretty. This doesn't really do it justice. The actual original is very bright, vibrant rainbow colors, all of the spectrum. So some song lyrics here. I kind of like this. It's something I normally would do, but I never finished the flowers though. Or maybe I was just thinking about leaving it like that. No, I was going to go back in, but just haven't yet. I think I wanted to make sure I, really like what I started, because I think I was already worried about the one flower. Not worried, but I just wanted to see, what I want to do. And I mean, I think there's a part of me that just kind of likes it like that, like kind of unfinished, or there's just the 3. I know it can frustrate certain types of people if something doesn't make sense. Like, I don't do realist work. There's some elements of realism, but then not. And almost a element of elementary, and I don't like that about it. I used to have a more mature form of art. Sometimes it pops out, but that's through a series of events with doctors and stuff. They don't like me reporting a really big ring in Michigan. And it was spot on, so it was with the Mexican cartel. Up in Ypsilanti in Ann Arbor. Around the time I was getting this book out. A lady I knew in California was drugged and kidnapped across the state. I spoke with her son prior to the full drugging abduction, and I wanted to get her flown back to Cali. California wouldn't help, Michigan wouldn't help. And I think I reached out to some other states. So that would have been around 2000. Let's see when this last book was published. This was published a little later, like I said. So the first publisher was going to actually try to dodge after I signed all the contracts. Someone got to him, but he never told me who. It says copyright 2015. This might have been a recopyright, or so we'll say between 2013 and 2014, somewhere in that realm. And if I can't read this, so that's I think that's it's that. But if someone needs to get into doing some work, or just needs to get through some stuff, or to see it from a different perspective, it's a very short read. It is very exciting. Like I said, the manuscript got destroyed. We saved as much as we could back then. And I think that because I am reluctant, and maybe it's just not my calling, it's just not what if it was really meant to be, I think I would still be pushing for the books. But oh gosh, well, I forgot one of the main reasons is that I have still yet to make proper communication with NPR, but they had a guest speaker who was like a famous like orchestra constructor, like orchestra director and stuff, like composer, and she read over a paragraph or more out of this book on live broadcasting. And it was like an international, like the international interviews or whatever. And at first when I heard her, I was stunned. I was just like, but because I know the book so well, and we had to edit so much and do so much, and I'm such a poor writer, it really took me back. I was just like, because this is, this was legally bound with my editor, publisher. So, I don't know. Just weird. And that's not the first time. And I don't want to hoard my work. But if no one's going to respect it and steal it, then I've been through too much. So I'm just not going to do it. If John wants to do it later, or whoever, that I loved, gets permission from John. Once upon a time, there lived the cheese muffin puppets. They lived in the heart of small villages of the people's lands. They were responsible for keeping real fun alive and helping people not get too serious about life. They were all about playing the forest games and having fun, dancing and singing in the forests. Heart of the village. This book is strictly focused on how we forgot how to live. This book in itself has nothing to do with working hard and, proper healing and full focus on Jesus. This is just a general societal concern about technology and what has happened in industrialization. Fun, and then he did this one where you can't barely see the letters right on this last one. Such a big fuck you. It truly was. They were all about playing the forest games and having fun, dancing and singing in the forests, swimming in fresh streams, glorious nighttime fun, and bonfires. Also festivals for the villages and special moons. Goodness, just remembering the old tales of glorious free fun, falling in meadows of flowers and rolling down hills after all the early day chores. True fun, so there is an element of work in it. I haven't read it in forever. However, as many moons passed, people really believed they could have more time for greater fun with faster work done during the day. Many different kinds of people were amazing grand stories of advancement, and having more fun with quicker chores convinced many others of the same ideas. So they started cutting down more trees, digging in the earth to find things to create fuel, and find gems for making more money, to buy even greater things. The list of glorious advancements goes on and on and on. Then no one ever had to haul water or fuel for their home again. They could kick back and watch some television and have a fun time. I say it about how small the letters are because that was the first thing people said was, what's going on here? Like, why is it different than the other one? And I'm like, he's doing a full out fuck you. However, as many moons passed, my editor, and we didn't have any kind of contention or anything. When he turned on me in the beginning and like this book was really important to me, and at that time, and there was a full shift like a serpent. And John knew, and he had to talk to him about it. And I know he just held on to whatever he wanted to hold on to. And however, as many moons passed, people really believed they could have more time for greater fun. Many different kinds of people and amazing grand stories of advancement having more fun with quicker chores convinced many others of the same ideas. So they started cutting down more trees, digging in the earth to find things to create fuel and find gems for making more money to buy even greater things. The list of glorious advancements goes on and on and on, and no one ever had to haul water or fuel for their home again. They could kick back and watch some television and have a fun time. However, all those great luxuries of cars, machines, and conveniences pushed the cheese muffin puppets right out of business. They took down their signs many moons ago, packed their backpacks, shook their heads a tad, and said to each other, "Man, I hope this works out for all these large villages now. We're out of here. Blessings to you all. Get back to us when you slow down a bit. Have a good one. And they skipped off out of town, playing their fiddles, drums, and flutes. Then as everything just kept moving faster ahead amongst the people, many forgot how to really communicate or connect. Well, I guess it is about a lot. Even though there were faster methods to communicate with cell phones, more confusion happened. Well, one day the earth just could not keep up, and technology stopped rather abruptly. Then people had to remember the old way of living in some respects, but no computers, televisions, or computer-ran cars or machines worked. People were confused for many moons and did not know how to handle the break, and looked at it as a great tragedy of humankind, when instead, ... well, we would get to the good part soon. Many started to sigh, much like, oh, my goodness. Some had not even picked up a book or whittled a stick in so long. The idea just stood with the statues in town square of the originators of true fun, the cheese muffin puppets, statues. After the sighing subsided, people started to tell old folklore stories of the cheese muffin puppets and how they cleared out when most of the roads cut through, where many of the old forests were. As a beam of smiles spread across enough people's faces listening to the tales, well, guess who came strolling back to town on their bicycles, strumming a tune on their fiddles, drums, and flutes? You got it. She just whistled. Proud as bright light, there they came through one of the big villages, and people roared as they sang. I didn't show you any pictures so far. So that was them digging the stuff up. This, my friend Tom did this. And this, he did these two. Can't fit him on there, so. It's digging up the earth right by a tree line. Them leaving town. Are they coming back to town? No, they were out. So now, they made statues of them. It's trying to be like a punt in a way, in a roundabout way. It's supposed to just be fun. Cheese muffin puppets was that the 3 words were, it was something, a joke that happened just spontaneously. My son was younger. I said, what should I put the title under for this new idea? I want to make it like a series to help people remember like what's important. And he said, one of us said cheese or cheese muffin puppets, and we kind of giggled. And that was how the title came about. After all you great, hey all you great folks, we cheese muffin puppets have been waiting a long, long time to come visit and maybe stick around for a spell, to come out and have some true fun again, playing in the forest, loving each other again, dancing and singing and swimming in fresh streams. Ooh la la, boom boom boom, cha cha, repeat till you giggle. Okay, here we go. And then that's it. And then this was one nice thing we did. We put all the added in the back if they wanted to color in the back of the book. And I think we added one extra on the front. And so I guess we tried a little. I shouldn't be upset. Maybe that was the only thing he could come up with, but I don't know. Because like here, no, it could have been, I don't know. It was weird because everyone just complained about it that I gave it to, so I was done. And then Tom went like this, not very many years ago, quite honestly. So he held it up, not this one, and he goes, this one, he goes, can't make no money on those. You need to do, if you're going to make anything, I mean, like, you know, like, give me a break, you know what I mean? So that was the dad that I was raised with. That was nothing. You just had to see his face when he did it. not like, oh, that was nice to do Wispy Princess for the kids. It was dedicated to my niece, my nephew, and my son, and it's a fun story. And hopefully we do that one tomorrow, and maybe we'll dive into the dark read, and then I can start to just edit or decide how I want to navigate it from here. Because this was left open-ended, and I actually have a lot of conclusions to these situations. So that would be, and maybe it is something that I will feel inspired to. I just don't think so. So, but like I said, the whole, if I went through and he did give me a discount. He was still an up and coming publishing company himself, but he only gave me a discount because he knew he wasn't going to help me sell them. So he wanted it suppressed. He was told to do so. So, but yes, I didn't want this scary like this. This is actually the cover I wanted, because through everything I went through, the solace that I always found was with Creator God in the forest, in a forest. And my friend Tom did this for me. So this was supposed to be the cover, and my publisher was concerned. He said it's pretty scary. He felt it would be misleading. But I said we could establish that on the back, you know. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. I don't think if you're with an editor or publisher, if you go through someone, there should be too much debating. Because if you guys don't have the same vision, it's not going to be a good business workout. But we didn't leave on bad terms. I gave him 10 years to be honest and fess up who gave him a little chit chat back when. So, but he never did. So, still love him. Have a good one.